Hey everyone, welcome to another installment of Harry Potter Theory. In this video, we'll be discussing Professor Filius Flitwick and the not-so-subtle change in his physical appearance that occurred during the films. First, here's a very brief summary on the man himself. Professor Filius Flitwick was the resident charms master at Hogwarts and head of Ravenclaw House. He was a half-goblin wizard and a former dueling champion. We're first introduced to Flitwick right at the beginning of the books and films, in Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. And we see the same Flitwick return in Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. But in the third film, The Prisoner of Azkaban, Flitwick's appearance makes a bit of a 180. The old, bald, grey-bearded Flitwick that we had become accustomed to in the first films was replaced with something very different. But it wasn't that the actor had changed, it was still Warwick Davis. They just completely reshaped the character. Where he was previously grey-bearded, he now sported a brown moustache, curled on the ends. And where he previously had no hair on the top of his head, Flitwick now showed off his full head of brown hair, parted down the middle. His new look made him appear massively younger, which in a way actually made more sense than the way he looked previously. Flitwick is not a particularly old character, but his former appearance made him look like he was giving even Dumbledore a run for his money. In reality, while we don't know Flitwick's exact age, it is widely speculated that he was born sometime between 1935 and 1958. I definitely lean more towards the former, however, as despite his new younger appearance, he was still older than 40, which is what he would have been during the Battle of Hogwarts, if he was born in 58. So what happened? Why this change? Really, all this comes down to is the director, and the director's vision. Harry Potter 1 and 2 were directed by Chris Columbus, who had a bit of a different style than Alfonso Cuarón, who took over from him starting with The Prisoner of Azkaban. Warwick Davis, who plays Flitwick, was interviewed about Cuarón and the change in his character. He had this to say: Alfonso really wanted to put his mark on the films, and then a lot of things altered, anything from character looks to the actual layout of Hogwarts itself. And another thing was happening at the same time. There wasn't really anything for Flitwick in the script at all, and I got a call one day from the producer saying basically, "There's nothing for you, but we'd love for you to be in the film all the same. How do you fancy coming in and doing a kind of cameo in the film as somebody else?" And I said, "Well, that's great, thanks for asking. I'm always thrilled to be part of all of this anyway." So I went in for a meeting with Alfonso, the director, and Nick Dougland, who's the makeup supervisor, and we came up with this new look for this character who would be basically the conductor of the frog chorus in the Great Hall. And so we went with that. It just so happens that this character, the conductor of the frog choir, ended up being one and the same with Flitwick. So really, this just comes down to director's preference. While it's unusual to completely change a character after 2 films, I think that part of the beauty in the Harry Potter films is how they evolved. My favourite part about them, and the thing that I resonated with most, was that the main characters were my age. As they aged, and a new film came out every couple of years, I was always in awe of the evolution that occurred. While the Philosopher's Stone and the Chamber of Secrets were deeply magical and amazing, the style of the films did need to evolve. For this reason, I don't think that changing Flitwick's appearance so drastically was much of a problem for me. One thing worth mentioning, however, is that Rowling herself was not much of a fan of Flitwick's appearance in the first 2 films. In an interview, she had this to say: "I must admit, I was taken aback when I saw the film Flitwick, who looks very much like a goblin or elf, because the Flitwick in my imagination simply looks like a very small, old man. I think that the Flitwick that Cuarón created was much more suited to Rowling's original idea for the character." What do you guys think of the Flitwick switch that occurred between the second and third films? Did you prefer a particular version of Flitwick? Let me know down in the comment section below. And that's all for this video. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button. Until next time, you're Wizard Harry!